Hey VC, Ed from On My Turntable here. Hope everybody is doing well. Yes, that's right. It's time for another episode of Play That 45, part 5 actually, where I show off and share some of my 80's picture sleeves of 45s that I bought back in the day. Either you've been waiting with bated breath for part 5 to come out, or you're thinking to yourself, when will this all be over? Either way, you're watching. So let's get to it and look at some 45 picture sleeves. All right, so let's pick up another round of 80's picture sleeves. First up, Duran Duran Notorious, when there were just the three of them from 1986. And the sleeve is pretty stark, but I'll give you a glimpse of the 45 since the label was kind of cool. There's the A side right there, Notorious, and the B side is here, the label for Winter Marches On. All right, next up, Madonna, True Blue. Title cut off the third LP. Once again, Herb Ritz photography. Great 45 picture sleeves from this release. There's all of the lyrics on the back. And what's interesting about this Madonna 45, it's a rarity because usually most of the 45s had another track from the LP on the B side. But in this case, there's a track that's called Ain't No Big Deal, written by Stephen Bray, one of her collaborators. It says here it dates from 1984, 2 years before True Blue, and produced by Reggie Lucas, who produced part of her first LP. It's from some compilation called Revenge of the Killer Bees, Volume 2. You can see it right there on the label. So in short, it's a pretty rare Madonna track. Other than here and that compilation, I can't think of any place else that it resides. So I think they're reissuing some of Madonna's 80s catalog soon. All those original LPs need a great remastering. Keep it in the original mixes. And hopefully they tack on some rare soundtrack stuff and rare B-side stuff that has yet to appear anywhere else. But anyway, this is the B-side of True Blue, Ain't No Big Deal by Madonna. Expose, Let Me Be the One. Great album, right? All those great songs. Come Go With Me, Point of No Return, Seasons Change. Fantastic stuff, Expose. Let Me Be the One. Love that song. Howard Jones. You Know I Love You, don't you? So I don't really hear this one that much anymore. I know he's touring again, and usually on satellite radio they play the same half dozen Howard Jones songs over and over again, but I never hear this anymore. Arif Martin produced. Once again, 1986, suffers a bit from that over 80s style of production, a little too busy, but still a pretty good track, and an unavailable LP B-side called Roll Right Up. So Howard Jones right there. Hall & Oates, Maneater, 1982. Back with Delayed Reaction. There they are in the back. And too bad those guys aren't speaking to each other again. The only one making money off these guys right now are the lawyers. But a great stuff and a great catalog. Maneater. Laura Branigan. I have a bunch of Laura Branigan 45s, but the lucky one is the only one that I have on an actual picture sleeve. Great stuff. Self-Control is a great song. Gloria, you know them all. Fantastic. Laura Branigan, no longer with us, with the lucky one. Robert Palmer, Addicted to Love, huge comeback for him. Great song, great video, with another non-LP B-side called Let's Fall in Love Tonight. Wham, another classic sleeve, Freedom. Great photo of those two right there. And the back, of course, huge album, Make It Big. Played this all the time. I have all the 45s, the LP, fantastic stuff. George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley right there. Eurythmics from the forthcoming LP, Be Yourself Tonight, the first 45, Would I Lie to You? Always great picture sleeve from the Eurythmics. Here Comes That Sinking Feeling is the B-side. And I'd forgotten that Ben Montench plays the organ on this track. It's one of my favorite Eurythmics tracks. The little salute to Motown and Stax, and it's just a great video as well. So great Annie Lennox stuff right there with Eurythmics, Would I Lie to You? Sheila E., A Love Bizarre, of course with Prince, funky track, keeps going on side 2, which means I got to bring in some Prince, of course, and Sign of the Times. Once again, this was the single released before the LP with La La La, He He He, a non-LP track on the B-side. Let's bring in the boys. Loverboy, that is. This Could Be the Night, the power ballad phase. You know, Loverboy is an underrated band. I think they're pretty great. It's Your Life is actually from Get Lucky, dating a few years back. I've seen them live before back in the day in the 80s, and they deserve a little bit more respect, I think. I think they're a phenomenal band, Loverboy. This Could Be the Night. Mr. Mister, Is It Love, third single off of their big hit album. You know, you look at this photo, and all of them look like they wish they were somewhere else. None of them look happy at all. But I have the Mr. 45s. This is the only picture sleeve that I got. You can't get more 80s than that. My God, look at that right there. Yep. And here's the flip, the back of it with the lyrics on the back. Jermaine Stewart, We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off to Have a Good Time. Fantastic song. That classic Narada Michael Walden production. He was everywhere back in the day, producing Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston. Jermaine Stewart, gone too soon, great vocalist, sang a lot of backup vocals on Culture Club's Color by Numbers, Miss Me Blind in particular. His voice is on that. Great singer, funky track, can't beat it. In that little R&B vein, Starpoint, Object of My Desire. Played this to death back in college. We wore this out. I'm not sure what's up with those outfits, but still a great track, really catchy, typical R&B stuff at the time. From 1985 this came out. In that vein, Billy Ocean, Mystery Lady, also written and produced by Keith Diamond, who did Starpoint as well. B-side of this, African Queen, No More Love on the Run. I think Caribbean Queen had various titles, right? In the States, it was Caribbean Queen. There's this African Queen, and I think in the UK, it was European Queen. All great stuff. Billy Ocean was riding high right now with a bunch of hits, and Mystery Lady. Tina Turner, also riding high at this point, Typical Male. Great track off of Break Every Rule, with a B-side written and produced by Bryan Adams, a 9LP track called Don't Turn Around. Great stuff from there from Tina Turner. The Finest, SOS Band, written and produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You know, in addition to Janet Jackson, they produced and wrote for a lot of other great bands. SOS Band in particular. Funky track, takes me back to my 98.7 Kiss FM days in high school. Played this stuff all the time. Coming up near the end, folks. U2, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Picture sleeve right there. There's good old Larry Mullen Jr. Here's the boys on the back. And once again, getting the U2 45s was all about the B-sides. And they usually put 2 tracks on the B-side. In this case, Spanish Eyes was one of them, which is one of my favorite U2 tracks. You know, at this point, with a lot of people, I think this was the end of the innocence for U2, as it were. After this, they became just so earnest and so serious. And I kind of fell off the listing page with these guys. But still, that round of 80s LPs is fantastic. And this ended it off with stuff from the Joshua Tree. But a great picture sleeve. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. Here's one that I totally forgot I had. I had to go back and play it again. It's Inevitable by this band called Charlie. And I thought they were Canadian. Turns out they're British. And they never really had a lot of big hits. And they were around for a long time. And this one just barely made the top 40 in the US. I'm sure seeing the video on MTV led me to buy this. It's catchy synth pop. It's fine. I had to go back and listen to it again. But it's Inevitable from Charlie. And last up, here's one I forgot that I had. Mr. Kenny Loggins duetting with Steve Perry and Don't Fight It. Way over the top. 1982. Lyrics are on the back. Another great song that'll make an awesome, video montage of someone who was looking to win and looking to score. So very cool, a lot of fun. Actually played this. I enjoyed it more than I thought, and it still kind of holds up. So Kenny Loggins and Steve Perry with Don't Fight It. All right. Hope you folks enjoyed that. As always, I had a great time showing those off and putting that together and chatting about them. Feel free to like and comment. Folks have really been enjoying looking at this stuff, which is great. Bringing back a lot of memories for folks, which is what it's all about. Good memories, some fun ones. So feel free to do that. And once again, when I sign off, you know what I say. With everything going on out there today, and there's a lot going on out there today, let's all take a moment to be kind to one another. And see you in part 6. Thanks, folks.